Very, very well said, Purivan, and thank you also, Nilabai, for the perspective. That's helpful. As your friend, as your well-wisher, I want to still push for clarity, and so that you don't easily leave, settle, okay, समझ गया करके आगे निकल जाएंगे, because then it will not do you well. Permanent नहीं होगा. A couple of other ways to also go at it is, जैसे Sanjeev Bhai, I said, sort of the difference between amateur and professional. But another way to look at it is, a sannyasi would call sannyasis would call themselves sannyasis. That we are, हमने संन्यास लिया, we are sannyasis, we are a group. No yogi will ever call him or her a yogi, because there is no such thing. Because the thinking is systems thinking. It's like the holistic thinking, as we say. It's the full and complete. The yogi ki bhanat is that I am it, the whole thing. I am not this or that. I am all of it. Isliye there is no yogi. I have not yet met or heard or read from a yogi, a real yogi, who has said that he or she is a yogi. And yet they are the greatest yogis. So that title, that designation falls because they are it. They are all of it. There is a system around us. They are the whole thing, as are each of us. It's just that they have elevated their thinking, their mindset, and it's more than lifestyle. It's really the mindset also. Just say in your example, you're absolutely right about the academician, the professor versus the industrialist. That which path do they choose? A yogi would be, it doesn't matter whether they're teaching a class or they're just cranking out invention after invention. Essentially, they are playing both, depending on what's needed when, for the continuous evolution or the protection of the system that they have devoted their lives to. So I don't know if I would call them a professor or an industrialist, because I see them also lecturing in the evening as an adjunct or whatever, and I see them as like the CEO or CTO of whatever industry also. So which one are you? No, but essentially no one's taking the industry forward more than them or as much as them, and the professors can consult with them or rationalize with them, and the industrialists can also, because they are across the board. And so there is no label for that person particularly, and that's a yogi. Yogi humne kaha hai? You can't like there's no such
thing.
Yeah, because a yogi is never ever a yogi.
Unfortunately for them, there is a label associated with it.
Yeah, but even that's not unfortunate for them, because there's no such thing as fortunate or unfortunate for them, because all of it is in there. So you have to keep pushing that idea about any categorization, any labeling. When you call something unfortunate, that suggests that there is something fortunate also. And so you have to keep push a yogi, it's abandon all limitations, all borders, all lines are erased. It is all of it. And the whole thing, it is only good, it is only right, and it is only pure, and it is love. And that's a yogi that cuts across, transcends across it all. Therefore, there is a jnani. Yes, there is a jnani, there is a bhakta, and there is a karmi, all of that. But in real, there is no such thing as a yogi, because this is very, very important. A yogi can never, ever, ever be a yogi without being the jnani of the first class, the highest class, the karmi of the best class. That's why it's the first class, not second class, never third class, right? And the bhakta of the deepest loving kind, the lover of them all, right? No one can love, no one does love God like a yogi does or can. No one knows with such lucid clarity. No, there is no jnani bigger than a yogi who has absolutely seen it and experienced it. And no one delivers their first class. I'm not saying this was the best work done. This was their best done. Absolute. And so therefore there too, Sanjeev Bhai, there is no distinction like a jnani or a bhakt or a karmi, because yogi is all at once in every, depending on the circumstance, living only for the goodness, for goodness sake, as we so easily call. And therefore, Krishna says again and again, many chapters, in the 6th chapter and the last 2 verses of the 6th chapter, he describes tapasvi bhyo adhiko yogi, karmi vyascha adhiko mata, jnani vyascha adhiko yogi, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. He says, Arjun, The yogi is superior to tapasvi, superior even to the jnani, and superior to even who do work, phenomenal work. Therefore, I'm pushing you to seek yoga and not just become karmi or just become sannyasi or just become a jnani. Because Arjun says, if jnana is important, you've already told me, let's end the Gita at the end of third chapter or second chapter. He said, third chapter, you've already given me all the jnana. Why are you pushing me to do this work? And that ghastly work, this horrible work, why are you asking me to do? If jnana is all important, as you say, and I accept it, I'm going. I got it. He said, no, usko collar pakad ke khich ke lata hai, stay here. This is jnani, yes, you can become jnani with this much. Sankhya Yoga, second chapter, totally ultimate jnani you can become. With just the second chapter, the last 17 verses, 55 से लेकर 72 तक, 72 श्लोक है उसमें. 54 में अर्जुन पूछते हैं, स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थित धीर किम प्रभाषेत किम आसीत वर्जेति किम. The man that you're describing, what do they walk like, talk like, sit like, eat like, and right? And he said, okay, well, here's how they behave. Starts with 55 through 72. So उतना पढ़ के हो गया, समझ गया मेरे को, बस हो गया, अभी मैं छुट्टी कराओ करके ज्ञानी बन गए. ज्ञानी तो बन गया लेकिन योगी नहीं बना अभी, तो इसलिए इधर ही रुक. फिर कर्म करना पड़ेगा. योगी को कर्म भी करना पड़ता है, ज्ञान से नहीं होता खाली. फिर कर्म योग आता है, लेकिन कर्म करेगा देन यू विल अटैच टू द रिजल्ट्स. रिजल्ट को नहीं रुक, संन्यास को भी सुन. संन्यास योग भी करना पड़ेगा. अभी भी नहीं हुआ तो योगी, उसके लिए संयम करना पड़ेगा. 6th चैप्टर कर्म, रिस्ट्रेन, सेल्फ रिस्ट्रेन, ध्यान, मेडिटेशन, प्रोसेसिंग, इंटरनलाइज करना पड़ेगा. यू विल हैव टू बिकम इट. इट्स नॉट दैट आई वांट इट. You don't get it, you become it. है ना? How? By realizing that you already are it. वो छठे अध्याय में तब जा करके ज्ञान और विज्ञान, to Nilay Bhai's point, not just the theoretical knowledge, but the practical application in the industry, as you see, which is Vigyan. Gyan, Vigyan, Yoga, that's the 7th chapter. ऐसे करते करते he's pushing him to, in the 9th chapter, then he says, that's when you will realize me, the whole, the system. 8th chapter, mein Akshar Brahma Deokta, whether formless or formful. In 9th chapter, he says, you will see that, oh, this Krishna, this is it. That I've been, and therefore you fall flat. In my 9th chapter, ka last shlok is like a shining beacon, climactic hai. Oh, man mana bhava mad bhakto, madhya jimam namaskaru, mame vaishyasi yuktvavam atmanam mat parayana. There will be nothing left for you than me, Krishna says, after that, because you will have seen it all, you will have become it all, your oneness, your unity with me. Us, you and I will not be two, will be singular, one, जिसको योग कहते हैं. ऐसे करते करते then when he says Vibhuti Yoga, right, show me, the same one is in all. Vishwarup Darshan, actually show me in all the forms. Bhakti Yoga, then falling in love, absolute deepest love, that's 12th chapter of Bhakti Yoga. है ना? ऐसे करते करते यहाँ तक पहुँचे. इसलिए, so again, do not confuse yogi with only a different lifestyle or different set of choices. It's actually the most inclusive. A yogi, all lifestyles are palatable. All choices are included. Everyone has a place. Everyone is brought together. There is only love for everyone. And that skill, that talent, right, that the knowledge, how do you do that, is the path of yoga, which we call Gita as well. And so naturally, then it is the highest. The most inclusive is the best, is the greatest. Hai na? Huh?
All-inclusive resort.
Yeah.